we had the pleasure of having a few gentlemen. God does wonderful things because he puts different people in your life for a specific reason and at a specific time. And the gentleman I'm across the table from right now, Reverend Reginald Benjamin, I met him many, 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 many years ago in Hempstead. We were working on a project, and I really, we were doing it for the village of Hempstead. And it was, it kind of escapes me, but I remember Claude, Claude, I forgot the gentleman's last name. Claude Gooding. So we were sitting across the table, and we were talking about events that could happen at Faith Baptist Church, upstairs in the theater, and we were talking about the village of Hempstead and certain things to do. And that's when I first crossed paths with this gentleman. And really, really excited because he was really charged up. And that fire has not left him at all through the years. Because I might not post a lot of things on Facebook, but I watch, I look, I listen, I observe. And I see that same fire is there. No matter whatever the situation is, he's there. He's about the community. A few weeks ago, he was here to talk with us about a rally that was going to be in Hempstead. We also, on our podcast, got together to talk about the rally and to talk about a few other things. We're going to do a recap of the rally, but I really want to learn more about it and really want Long Islanders to learn more about the ABBA Life Center, because that's what we hear about. And I'm a man of my word, because I said 2 weeks ago, I want you to come back. Amen. And I'm glad that you're here. So with that, Brother Benjamin, the floor is yours. If you can give us a recap of last week's.
First of all, Mr. Hicks, I just want to thank you for this extraordinary, rare opportunity to come before your listening audience, just to be able to share not so much of what Reginald Benjamin is doing or what ABBA Leadership is doing, but what God is doing through this work that he's called us to do. In regards to last week's rally, I thought it went exceptionally well. You may recall, if you're was on the radio a couple of weeks ago talking about an upcoming rally, talking about peace in the streets, an initiative that was a collaboration of a number of groups with student minister Muhammad out front, and I worked closely along with a young brother, James Muhammad, and we pushed that forward because what we was concerned about is black-on-black violence, not so much of violence with everybody else, not police violence, but so many of our young people, to me, being self-destructive in their own community. And so we came together with a number of community-based groups, including the mayor who was out, even the the deputy speaker was all the way out from Albany, Miss Earlene Hooper. We had a number of legislators that was out there. It was really a major turnout, but the climax of the whole thing is there was a family who lost their son.
Right.
That entire family was out there to encourage people to stop the violence so that we, in fact, could have peace in the streets. That initiative, we're carrying it on this coming Thursday at 6 o'clock. We're joined with the new Democratic Club of Hempstead. We'll be speaking about those different issues. And then again on Saturday, which is one of the key things I want to talk about, at our back to school event, where we're going to have close to 1,500 to 2,000 people.
Wow.
And we want to talk specifically about the need for us to stand together, to be more united and more peaceful as our young people are transitioning back into the school system. We yet have one of the worst graduation rates in the county. And they're working good to turn that situation around, but we also have other issues, different splinter groups that are fighting against one another. And so we want to make this back to school, which is a celebratory time of the year, every year for the last 12 years for us. We want to include the components about peace in the streets, learning how to work together, learning how to develop ways to resolve conflict, conflict resolution, the agenda. We want to even bring it to the school. Mr. Muhammad, it seemed to be somebody that is definitely being used for this time to do this kind of work. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking to do. But again, I'm very, 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 very excited about this coming Saturday with our back to school program. It's humongous. It's an opportunity to minister, to lift up our young people who are, many of them are discouraged, don't have the proper tools necessary to start off the school year. So we want to give them a free backpack with all of the school supplies that they need. And I don't believe in giving people hand-me-down.
No.
If I don't want it, why should I give it to somebody else? So we want to make sure that we give them quality products, quality school supplies, so that when they get ready to go back to school, they at least have equal footing. They'll be able to step into school prepared to learn. And those things that we don't have, it is a minor things that they might be able to purchase themselves. We're also going to be providing coats for them, brand new coats. We got some coats from the district attorney office, some clothes that were seized in forfeiture. And they donated those clothes to the community, and we'll be giving it to the people in those communities. We had Family and Children Associates going to give us over 500 pair of jeans that we're going to be giving out to the people. This is all free. We have another organization called Broken But Not Destroyed. Mm-hmm. They're coming out, giving out clothes. They're going to be setting up food to give to people, and everything, by the way, is free. We're going to have bouncies and blow-ups. We have the mayor's one of our keynote speakers. We have the president of the school board coming out. Again, we're going to have the deputy speaker, Earlene Hooper, coming out. We're going to have Dr. Gates, a renowned pastor or bishop in the village of Hempstead. He'll be coming out. We have a number of great, significant people, because my message is simple. Mm-hmm. I just want the young people to know, the kids to know, that no matter how difficult it may seem, we have people in our community that love them, care about them, want to undergird them, support them, and love. We cheering them going back to school, because we believe that education is the most important thing. You know, most 85% of the young people that end up in Nassau County Jail, where I happen to be a chaplain, 85% of them haven't graduated out of high school. And there's a correlation to that. So we want to celebrate, encourage, motivate, uplift, and push our children forward to getting a better education. Letting them know without an education, you stand a chance of falling through the cracks. And as soon as you fall through, there's an enemy on the other side waiting to pick you up.
That's so true. So true. I got to tell you, you have to be commended. I mean, I understand it's bigger than you. I understand that. There's the organization. And then now, you know, or should I say over the past 12 years, other entities have jumped in.
Yes.
Jumped in. And you know, some of them jump in for the right reasons. Right. Some of them jump in for publicity.
Right.
And tax write-offs and everything else like that. But they're involved.
That's right.
And that's the key thing. They're involved. You have to continue. I don't have to tell you this.
Let me say something to you.
To push that message.
You want to tell? Let me just say this to you right quick, because I want you to understand that. You're right. When we first started, it was ABBA Leadership Center primarily.
Yes.
And I got to admit, in the very beginning, I'm saying now everybody want to be copycats and all that.
Right.
But let me tell you something. God had to shut me down.
Okay.
Because I was being a little bit selfish and fleshly. And God reminded me about a story in the book of Acts. I mean, about the Apostle Paul.
Okay.
Paul said people start setting up and spreading the gospel to create contention, and to bring more suffering on him. But he said he looked past all of that. He said whether they are doing it for contention or in sincerity, he says, make no difference to me as long as the good news is being spread. And so learning that principle, you know, you're thinking about me giving a few backpacks and other people seeing it and seeing it's something that they want to do and come alongside of it. So we went from giving out 1,000 backpacks to over 10,000 backpacks are given out across the village of Hempstead annually at this point. Right. And if God saw fit to make me be somebody to provoke other people into doing that, I'm very happy about that. There's a verse in the book of Hebrews that simply says this: provoke your brother onto good works in love. And so if we're giving out these backpacks, provoke other people to give it out, listen, to God be the glory.
Amen. Amen. I'll tell you that much. But I want to go into something because I had to make that previous statement.
Okay.
For a reason.
Okay.
Because, yes, you're giving out backpacks, and it's an honorable thing, and we're so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
But, or however, there's a lot of other work that you're doing, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Mother's Day, whether it's Christmas. The folks don't know about that type of stuff. I mean, our listeners right now is like, oh, you're doing something for backpacks. It's so much bigger than that.
Well, I want to be clear.
Okay.
To start giving out backpacks come from a bigger agenda. Like I said, I'm a chaplain in Nassau County Jail. I work with the young people 18 through 24 for years.
Okay.
And I sat there in those groups. Many of them did not graduate out of high school. And the preponderance of the young people that are in there are those people that are dropped out of school. So it was motivated behind other works and other agendas, other issues that we was dealing with. I know that no young person could basically survive without an education.
True.
So working in the jail, we had a lot of young men that we wanted to push to go back to school. We wanted to encourage them when they come out to do the right thing. And so that comes out of that. We also wanted to connect with the family. Most people think if you fix the person, you solve the problem. But when most of our children come out of a multifaceted level of circumstances and problems and disabilities. And so we wanted to touch those families, and we reached out to those families, demonstrating in very tangible ways that we love them. This is one of the reasons why the backpack was started. One of the other things that we do is critical to everything I do. I believe that you can give a person a fish and feed him for the day. But if you give him a fishing rod, you will teach him how to feed his family for a lifetime. So one of the things that we did after working with young people, we realized that we needed to create an initiative to get employment to our young people. So we created a program way back in 2005 called the Job Readiness Work Experience for hard to employ young men and women within the village of Hempstead. And that program we developed, we started working with partners and friends and getting people jobs. And one day I realized that the construction work that was going on in our community wasn't representative of the people.
Right.
The people that was employed on those jobs was people from Buffalo, Jersey. We even had people coming from Tennessee. So we went to some of those construction workers. We thought we was going to have a problem. But I'll tell you something, when God is with you, when God is on your side, the Bible says when God be for you, who can be against you? So when we went to those employers, we start saying, listen, why don't you hire people from the local community? Why don't you give them a shot instead of hiring other people? To my surprise, some of these people was waiting for that and looking for that. So one of the first jobs we got, we took some people out all the way out to Nordstrom, Brooklyn from Long Island to Nordstrom Baptist Church. We started renovating that church with 10 men. Well, out of that 10 men, and they see us doing that, we got jobs in Twin Oaks. We had 60-something odd men there. We got jobs over at 303. We had 70-something men working over there. We got the jobs to do the South Franklin Street with D&F Development. We got over 70 people working over there. All throughout Long Island and Nassau County, we was able to place people in entry-level jobs. And many of those people, I wish I had this time, many of those people went on to do great things. Some of them they done become tradesmen, and they're bringing in other people to the tune right now from that small beginning. We had over 300 people that we got jobs and working, and many of them continue to work. Right now I'm the consultant for the village of Hempstead. If this Renaissance project ever gets started, $2.5 billion, it will revolutionize our community. It will empower people that are suffering. It will give people a sense of hope that many are gone hopeless. But let me let me back up a little.
Okay.
Right now, if you look across this country, they said over 58% of people from the minority community, particularly our youth, are unemployed. In the village of Hempstead, we have 28% unemployment. Right in the village of Hempstead, where we have our beloved our beloved county executive, Edmund Ganner, talking about the unemployment is 3.7. 3.7, and then right in the village of Hempstead, you have 28%. I think it's time out for the nonsense, because somebody is being left behind.
Right.
And let me tell you the key factor. In most minority communities, the unemployment rate is still jacked up. It's still out of proportion. And people are wondering why young people are angry, why they are bitter. If you walk down the street in your community and everybody that is working don't live in your community, don't think much of you, wouldn't that make you upset just a little? And don't tell me they don't have the experience. I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to wave a flag. I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to lift up a little bit of sheetrock. I don't believe you have to be a rocket scientist to learn how to do plumbing. I don't think, give people an equal chance to go to work, and you can change lives. And that's what ABBA Leadership about, working with our partners. Thank God that God has saw fit to raise up key churches, and you'll be surprised of the churches that support what we're trying to do. And they are major supporters. They said, Brother Reggie, we can't get out and do the grinding work that you do, but we can get behind you. We can support you. That's why I want to thank God for my partners and people like Living Faith Christian Church. I want to thank God for people like Shelter Rock Church, New Hyde Park Baptist Church. These are the kinds of partners that we have that are coming alongside of us in significant ways. I got other partners who say, you know what? We know that there's a suffering community, and we believe that God has called you to do something about it. We want to help you in a very real and tangible way. And that's why we're able now to do not just the back to school. We reach out to over 400 mothers every year. We just had our 10th Mother's Day celebration. 400 mothers. Brother, I wish I could tell you about this. See, I had a mother's too. My mother passed away when I was 16 years old. I never had the opportunity to say thank you. And it was 8 boys and 3 girls in that one family, and a single-parent mother. She did a Herculean job to raise us. And I said to myself, I need to show the people in the community that these are strong mothers, that these are mothers that are the glue that hold family together. So we started our Mother's Day program. And we said, you know what, all you got to do is come. We only want them to do one thing. If they come, we will serve them. The only thing we won't do for them is go to the bathroom for them. The rest of the stuff, we got it. We have great gospel artists coming out. Elder Ballard come out and serenade them. We give each mother a free flower. We make sure that they get a flower plant, because I don't believe in giving out anything that's going to die. We make sure they get beautiful gifts. We make sure they get a full 3-course meal. We make sure that there's someone there with a message to encourage them. And when they walk out, I'll tell you what, they had a better Mother's Day than the average mother, because we want them to know that they are our heroes. They are the unsung heroes of these communities. And so we reach out to bless them. The other thing that we have, brother, is what we call the Thanksgiving celebration.
You got it.
I struggle with the whole thing about soup kitchens, where you're going to take a kid that's 3, 4, 5 years old to a soup kitchen around people that have issues, if you will. And I don't want to criticize soup kitchens per se. What I'm saying is, when you got a family, the only reason why they're standing on a soup kitchen line, they don't have the food at home. We give them a Thanksgiving basket full of all the condiment, extra stuff that they need, whether it be sweet potatoes, beans, string beans, and we give them a turkey, each one, so they can eat at home in a normal environment. And also we give them a message. We try to encourage them. We do a Christmas thing, 1,000 Christmas gift, and we target kids that really need it, because there are some people that don't need, but they're kind of greedy. We're not there to serve the greedy, but we're there to help the needy. And most of them just need a help along. Those are some of the programs that we have. We created a new program called the Black Jobs Matter, and that wasn't intended for any racial racism or anything like that. We wanted to take advantage of the climate. To say, everybody's upset about what's happening in our community. The real problem in our community is economics.
You got it. You got it.
So that's what we are pushing. We are pushing the whole idea of, if you really want to help us or you really want to work with us, don't come patting us on the back and telling me you feel sorry for me. What I need is a job to feed my kids. What I need a job to take care of my family. I don't need low-income housing if I got a job that I can afford to live in decent housing.
Correct.
You know, I don't even like this whole concept when we could put young men and women to work to bring up their standard of living. We looking to come down. We want to come bring their living down by serving them all kinds of stuff. I say if a man is willing, ready, and able to work, and you have no excuse for not putting him to work, put that man to work.
Put him to work.
I guarantee you'll reduce crime. Right now, they tell us 1 in 3 African American will end up in the criminal justice system.
Correct.
I guarantee you, if they had a job, that number will go down dramatically. They're talking about over 51% of the prisons across the country are African American. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Most of them don't have jobs. Most of them don't have opportunity. And let me tell you something else they do. Once they get a criminal record,
that's it.
Man, they don't even have to violate no law. They don't have to worry about any kind of lawsuits about discrimination, and it's just another form of discrimination. In fact, this woman named Alexander is her name, Michelle Alexander, put out a book called The New Jim Crow. And it talks about the manipulation of the criminal justice system to keeping the people down and oppressed. And I don't want to get into a whole deep thing about it, but this is true. I wonder why somebody with a petty crime, such as a small amount of reefer, got 4 years in the criminal justice system. How's that justice? I don't want to go too deep into it.
No.
But the work that we're trying to do through ABBA Leadership Center is to save lives.
Yes.
And we're not exclusive to African American, but I'm passionate about that because I see what's going on with our young people, and I believe if they're given a small chance, if they're given enough faith as small as a mustard seed, I believe our entire community will be transformed. I am brother Hicks. I am so tired with these do-gooders that want to come into poor community to help the poor Negroes, and all they do is ingratiate and enrich themselves at our expense. You look around, other people's kids are going to college, our kids are going to jail. How is that helpful? All these people, all our people need is an opportunity to go to work, to get some training, and to be built up. That's why I'm in support of Mayor Wayne Hall. Now, I'm not a politician.
Okay.
I'm not into politics and all of that, but I know that this man is talking about bringing development in our community. And you know the people who are mad the most?
Cool.
The people who already got everything. They're talking about, that's gentrification and all of this. Meanwhile, you live over in Rockville Center somewhere, rich in a mansion, and you're going to come save the poor Negroes. We need the people in our community to stand up to represent themselves. And if they are doing development in every part of Nassau County, and the only place they're not doing any building is the village of Hempstead, and when you look around, 91% of that community is either African American or Hispanic. That got to tell you something.
That's true.
And then you hear the people who are really protesting against it. These are people that don't live in our community.
Right.
How is it you concerned about me? You can come out of Rockville Center. You can come out of, I don't even know where some of these people come from. To say that you represent our community, you love us, you care about us. The last... Lord help me! I'm on the radio over here. I want to be careful.
You got to be real careful.
I got to be careful. I'm on the radio.
I don't want to get fired now.
I'm going to be careful, but I'm going to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to help me God. You want to help us. You want to help the poor community. You want to help African American, Latino community. Give people an opportunity to go to work. Stop coming in talking about giving housing for the poor. You don't have to pay nothing because you poor. No, give me a job. Give me a decent wage, and I'll pay for my own home. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'd rather pay for my own. I don't want you always giving me stuff. That might make you feel good, but I don't feel good about you patting me on my back and you done gave me a dog bone, and I got to hope you come back tomorrow. Give me a job.
Brother Benjamin, I want to thank you for joining us today. We're getting ready to close this segment and close our show, but I wanted to let you know starting September 4th, we will be on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. weekly. So don't think that I won't be calling on you.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Whether it's a phone call or us driving up here together to get on and talk about some of these issues.
Yes, sir.
I'm
sorry I got so fired.
No,
up
that's
there.
good.
My apologies.
Because that's the fire that I was talking about when I met you. I don't know if it was 12 or 15 years ago.
It was a while back.
It was a while back. But I want to thank you so much, brother. I want to thank you for what you're doing, how God is moving you and ABBA Life Center.
Thank you, sir.
And you got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing.
There's no stop right now.
That is it. So with that, hey, if there's someone in need, what should they do?
Please. You can call my office. It's ABBA Leadership Center. The number is 516-493-9840. If you're interested in a backpack drive, just simply speak to Deandra or Moss. She'll be able to help you, take you, register you, and make sure that we accommodate you. For any other things in terms of jobs and other issues that we deal with through my organization, you can call that same number, 516-493-9840. You can ask for, I love to refer to my street name as Evangelist Reginald Benjamin.